Rabbi Harold Kushner tells us a beautiful story about a little boy who was very late coming home from school. When he finally arrived, his parents began yelling at him, "Where were you? We were so worried." The boy explained, "My friend received a brand new bicycle. He was so excited. Then on the way home, he hit a tree and the bicycle broke. I stayed with him to help." The parents, still angry, replied, "How could you help him? You don't know anything about fixing bicycles." The boy said, "I didn't stay with him to help him fix his bicycle. I stayed with him to help him cry." That is the meaning of being human, when we stay with one another to help each other cry. Today, our hearts are breaking. We help each other cry. This is a drastic reversal of the natural order. This just shouldn't be. The tears keep flowing like a faucet. They just won't stop. Washington Irving once wrote, "There is sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition and unspeakable love." So here we are, our eyes filled with tears, our hearts heavy with sadness, to share our grief and our deepest love. We are desperate to make sense out of all of this. But nothing about Sam's illness or what you as a family have had to endure makes any sense at all. Tradition teaches us that Aaron was silent when he heard the deaths of his sons. But to the Sommer family, if I've learned anything from all of you, I've learned that we can't be silent. Rarely do I want to refute Chazal, but we can't be silent. Aaron didn't have a Facebook page or a blog. You have brought all of us on this journey with you in a very clear voice. You taught us every step along this way on this journey not to be silent. So today, we can't be. We hold you, in the words of Rabbi Milton Steinberg, with open arms. We hold you so tightly. Give us the courage, God, to reach across the abyss of grief and grasp the hands that we need to hold. To Phyllis and Michael, to David, Yael, and Sally, to grandparents Sharon, John and Marilyn, to Uncle Josh and Tina, Uncle Harry, to beloved family and friends who are like family. We extend our most heartfelt condolences. There are no words. Ozi b'zimrat Yah, tradition says. My strength, balanced with the songs of God, will be our salvation. We will not be silent, so we shall sing.
Oh wish that we could be anywhere but here, mourning and missing this sweet, charismatic, and beautiful child. If only there was something we could do to ease all of our pain and to comfort the ones who loved him most. We search for the right thing to say, but words fail us. So instead, we open our hearts and we extend ourselves to our friends. We stand beside them and embrace them, and we vow to hold them close and hold them up. And it is in Psalm 121 we are taught that God will do the same, that God will be with this family and protect them in the days and nights that are ahead. Lift up my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul. You're going and coming, now and forever. At a time like this, the words of Rabbi Chaim Stern come to mind. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lifted me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was a gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched.
Death has taken our beloved Samuel Asher Sommer. Our friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation. In their tears there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, be with them. For Sammy's love that united us in life which death cannot sever. For his companionship that we shared along life's path which now continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of his heart and mind that brought us joy and happiness, and is now a precious, precious remembrance. For all these and more, we give our thanks to God. In this time of grief, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures. that reminds us the ever-new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. No matter what faith tradition we may be from, we find comfort from the 23rd Psalm. The words echo in our hearts. We've heard it so many times. I recently read a beautiful commentary that focused on one simple word that the biblical psalmist chose. The psalmist said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." The psalmist was very clear. We don't stay in the valley of the shadow of death. We don't live in the valley of the shadow. We go through that valley. We walk through it together with friends and with family, and we come out different. We come out still with great pain, but we come out of that valley. Today, so many feel that we are in the midst of that valley. So many feel it's truly overwhelming. The Hebrew word for black is shahor. The Hebrew word for the dawn, sunrise, is shahar. The same three letters vocalized just slightly differently. So as we walk through that valley, as we change our perspective, we go from the darkness to the dawn. We go from the blackness to the light. Together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Not how did he die, but how did he live? Not what did he gain, but what did he give? These are the units that measure the worth of a person as a person, regardless of birth. Not what was his station, but had he a heart? And how did he play his God-given part? Was he ever ready with a word of good cheer to bring back a smile, to banish a tear? Not what was his shrine or what was his creed, but had he befriended those really in need? Not what did the sketch in the newspaper say, but how many were sorry when he died today? One of the oldest responsibilities of a rabbi is to be a maturgaman, to be a translator, a mouthpiece. When words were difficult, it fell to the rabbi to share these words. So today, I act as maturgaman. I act as Phyllis's mouthpiece, sharing very specific words to thank the many communities who have all come together to shelter and protect, to provide and to pastor, to comfort and to guide all of you throughout this process. In no way is this list complete, and in true Phyllis fashion, she said, if I forgot anyone, can I still play the cancer card? So apologies if any groups are left out. Shalom. Again, these are Rabbi Phyllis's words. I can't possibly ever thank our community for all that they have done for us. And I can't be prouder of our synagogue. Calls and emails and cards and packages and gifts and meals, oh, the meals. Facebook messages and fundraisers and sweet notes from our students. The hugs, the squeezes, the full embrace of this synagogue. I cannot imagine a rabbi who has ever felt such love as this. I even heard that meal sign-ups were like getting Super Bowl tickets. A special thank you to the board as well for understanding and caring. To the Shalom staff, you are my family. I can't imagine how this would have gone without knowing that you were all behind me and with me. Knowing that there was a team behind me, always. I am eternally grateful. To the B'nai Torah congregation, whose generous membership and staff reached out early on with strength and with love and continues to do so. Oak Terrace, and now Northwood schools in Highland Park. Beautiful things happen for Sam in school, and beautiful things continue to happen to support our family there. To the Lutz Center, where all 4 of our children were in those classrooms and given such love and care and learning. I know your hearts break too. Preschool teachers don't lose students very often. Our home medical team, in particular, Dr. Matthew Plofsky, who never failed to check in on us and who moves swiftly at the beginning to never discount Sam's pain, and got us to diagnosis. To the entire oncology, hematology and transplant team at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, led for us first by Dr. Mike Kelly and then by Dr. David Margolis. World-class care in a comforting, warm embrace. Walking into the hospital always brought me a measure of comfort, even if I was in great fear. I knew that there was someone there who would care for my son and hold my hand. The nurses, the doctors, the care partners, the phone answerers, the volunteers, the child life team, especially the art and music therapists, even the security and cafe people who were familiar faces with a smile and a hello. Our clinic staff, both in the oncology and the bone marrow transplant clinics, who often went far above and beyond whatever was typical to accommodate our crazy family. Your words, not mine. I can't do justice to the depth of the way that they cared for us and the way that I know they care for every family. The other hot families who shared the crazy boat trip with us. Such a blessing to have them in our lives now and always. The Ronald McDonald House staff and families, warm and wonderful and amazing. A home for our family when we needed it so much. What a resource and blessing. Milwaukee Jewish Day School, the JCC Preschool, the JCC community, the whole Milwaukee Jewish community. Truly, they opened their hearts and arms to us. Granted, I'm related to about half of them. But they gave us a safe haven that we will always think of as our second home. They should be proud of their community. Our families. I am beyond words here. I don't know how to say what I feel for the love of our brothers and our parents and our extended family. They never left our side. They did laundry in Milwaukee every day. Uncle Josh kept us afloat. Uncle Harry got the best of Sam. No one in our family waited till the last minute to show up. They were fully present and shared our moments. Our first circle of friends, the ones who would text and call and email to check in on a regular basis. Sometimes to check in on a Costco run, and sometimes just to convey love. Although I heard 92 birthday cakes were purchased at Costco yesterday. The friends who would show up with coffee or something stronger. Who would pick up our kids for play dates or drop by with paper towels. And our extended circle of friends, those physically close and those who live far away. The far and wide extending circle to the farthest reaches of the world. Has a family ever truly felt so much love as we have felt? I would wish it for anyone. This worldwide embrace has overwhelmed and blessed us so deeply. And the worldwide connection of our colleagues who have embraced us and shared our story and been like family, not to mention the crazy head shaving idea. Boy. We have so many different circles of community. They extend so far afield and so far back in our lives. Olin Sang Ruby Union Institute, Gucci, URJ, the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, the certificate program, the master's program, Nifty, high school friends. I couldn't even begin to mention all of them. Each community goes above and beyond every day. And of course, the power of our online and virtual networks. So many people that we have never met who have contacted us and communicated with us and shared with us. Complete strangers who have touched our lives and whose lives we have touched. I could write a book about the power of social media and its ability to create real and meaningful connection. How could this list ever be complete? I will live each day of my life and never be able to fully live up to the amount of gratitude that I feel for how we have been carried along and how we will continue to need this support. Sam's physical life has ended, but now we are left to pick up the pieces, and I am tired and sad. And I can only hope to live up to half of what has been said about us as parents and partners. It will take a ridiculous amount of super glue to put the shattered pieces of our family back together again. We will always be a little bit broken. Phyllis, it is truly my great honor to share your words verbatim with everyone today. Because you allowed all of us to follow the path with you, you brought us all closer to life and death. There is no doubt fear and pain are part of the journey that we all travel. There is no way around that. But it's been your courage to articulate that helped make us better individuals and continues to make our communities even stronger. We all share the same feelings of pain, hurt, devastation, and angst. But I know I speak for thousands when I say the dignified way that you as a family continued to teach us, uplifted us even higher as we followed along these past 18 months. Like so many in this room, my faith has also been challenged. I too have more questions than answers. But my belief in the power of God's community has never wavered. Hashkivenu Adonai, shelter us beneath your wings, Adonai, is what you sing every night before your family goes to sleep. At this moment, all of the communities and individuals that you have profoundly shaped and touched by your grace and your compassion now join together to ask God to bring this blessing upon you and upon all of us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Shelter us beneath your wings, Adonai.
Teach us, God.
Sommer always loved stories. He loved made-up stories, helm stories. He loved stories in books. He loved stories that were written, or as he would say, stories from your head. He loved stories that Mom told on Sundays. Stories read by teachers in school. Stories Dad told before bedtime. Tell me another one, he would say. He would often recall the stories he heard at Sunday school and repeat them back verbatim. On the car ride home, he remembered the smallest details. Sam loved details. His favorite story was of the man who for 7 straight days kept dreaming of a treasure hidden under a bridge in a far-off town, a day and a half's walk away. So after 7 straight days of the dream, he woke up. He put his shovel in his backpack and he walked to the town. But then there was a man guarding the bridge where the treasure was. And the man said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I had a dream that there's a treasure buried here." And the man laughed at him and said, "You know, I get a dream every night that in a faraway village under a small little house there's a treasure there, but what kind of fool travels all this distance to go looking for a treasure?" And the man walked away. Jacob, I think his name was. He walked away. He went back home. And he dug under his house. And there he found a treasure. I so wish stories, especially this story today, could be different. I wish this story had a happy ending. But not all stories have happy endings. Not all stories wind up with treasures that we can imagine. Elie Wiesel once wrote in a book called Gates of the Forest, we must tell the story, if nothing else. Why did God invent people? Because God loves stories. Sammy's story was too short, but it was a beautiful story. How we wish we could rewrite the story to change the direction, to change the plot, to change the ending. But this is a story that will continue in so many ways if we continue to tell it, if we cherish it, if we share parts of it, if we allow the story to grow. Samuel Asher Sommer's story began right here in this community, 9 months after Michael finished his rabbinic thesis.
Michael, that's what you told me.
He was the best baby. Michael and Phyllis, he was so good that he renewed your faith in child rearing. As a baby, he never had a bad day. He was always most comfortable in pajamas. He had daytime pajamas and nighttime pajamas. They never matched, but he always wore them. He changed from the nighttime pajamas to the daytime pajamas and continued on with his day, then put his nighttime pajamas back on. And from the moment he came into this world, he looked up to you, David, his older and wise brother. He always wanted to be like you. You would wrestle and play fucking Bronco. Then Yael entered the story, and Sam was fascinated. He would sit and watch and hang out. Sam and Yael became the middles, talking endlessly, almost like an old married couple. Playing go fish in the bathroom. Fighting ferociously during the day and then talking like old souls late on into the evening. Keeping each other company. Yael, you were Sam's best friend. And the plot of the story deepened when Solly joined in. Sam always loved babies. He loved to watch Solly grow. He explained things. He loved teaching his younger siblings. He was a classic middle child. Nothing was ever fair. He hated when things were changed. He followed the rules. He hated injustice. He was always thoughtful of others. He was always so grown up. He always shared. He said please and thank you no matter how mad he was. He didn't like kisses. He loved being home. He hated to sleep alone. He felt safety in his family. He could be sheepish, a little flirt, a ladies' man. He was stubborn. He always did things his way. He loved googly eyes. Sam was incredibly, incredibly smart. He loved to draw. He was always the most focused in the class, and the teacher would use Sam as the benchmark, the gauge, and if Sam lost interest, she knew it was time to change. He was great with puzzles, incredibly logical. He loved every single kind of animals. He especially loved frogs. When Sam set his mind to do something, he did it. He could always pull at your heartstrings. He understood he needed to give back, and when he liked something, he really, really liked it. Like discovering plums and eating 9 of them in one day. Not eating hamburgers and then deciding to start eating hamburgers and eat 6 of them in a row. He loved going to Green Lake. The nature, the bugs, the boating. He loved Osrui. And even from the hospital when he wasn't feeling well this summer, he still went as often as he could just to breathe in the magical Osrui air and to see David. He loved to freak Mom out with bugs. He loved to garden and use his butterfly net. Sammy loved water. He loved to take baths. He loved to swim. He loved music. Sam had the most amazing team of grandparents who loved him fiercely and stood with him every day of his way too short life. Like so many, his story was that of just a typical double rabbi family. His kids sang in the junior choir. They loved to goof around and get into trouble. He loved to do art projects and play with his friends. And then out of the blue, there was pain in his leg. In June of 2012, when cancer was added to the story, Sam made leukemia look easy. He was the healthiest sick person I ever saw. He fought the drugs, he hated anesthesia, he hated lugging around his pole, but he loved the secret elevator. Dr. Margolis, an amazing, amazing man, said to me just a little while ago that he was spunky and insightful. He always asked great questions. He was challenging, and he was wise beyond his years. He wanted so much to live. But in all the time that he spent in the hospital, in all those 18 months, he never spent one day in the ICU. He was never scared. When he finally received his bone marrow transplant that night, he talked to the cells as they went into his body, cheering them on, encouraging them to do their work. He really thought that he could win this fight. He was always thinking about the future, and he received the greatest care. Nurses fought over taking care of him. He took every opportunity he could to be a little mischievous with them, especially if he liked them. I once brought up some silly string, and I said, "Who should we get?" as they walk in the room, and his eyes lit up. He couldn't wait. I once said to him in the hospital very early on, "You know, Sam, there are hundreds of people praying for you every day." He looked around at all the cards and pictures that he had received, that the family had put up on the walls, and he said, "Actually, Rabbi, I think there's more like thousands praying for me." He received more packages than some small countries. He was known by everyone. You know, this story gets unbearably sad. When the cancer returned again, and he realized that he was disappointed at the things he wouldn't get to do. So in the middle of November, at Michael's over some French fries, which I actually ate most of them, he said he wanted to go to Israel. And I said, "Done." He asked very specifically who was going to officiate at his funeral. I said I would. He said he wanted fireworks and party games. I said we'd figure something out. But we did see fireworks a few weeks ago. He said he wanted to do something awesome. And I said, "Sam, you already have." He told me he wanted to be famous. I told him he really is. Less than 24 hours before he died, he focused on wanting to make a tzedakah donation to his class, for he had extra money that he knew he wasn't going to use. So literally on Thursday, I went up there. But it wasn't good enough. He didn't want to give it to me. "No, I want to personally bring it." And he was angry about it. "I want to take it to religious school on Sunday." I asked if I could deliver it, and he said no. He wanted to do it. Sam was not alone for a single moment of his life. For a single page of this story, Sam didn't lose his battle with cancer. He will always be a true champion, because he taught us every single day how to live and how not to be defined by what ails us. His spark got brighter and brighter and brighter, and it's going to continue to shine. 8 years is just not enough. But as I told you, Phyllis and Michael, early on Saturday, as I told you as you held Sam just a few minutes after he had died, I said that Sam was the smartest Jewish kid I ever knew. For he died on Shabbat, a holy day. Biennial Shabbat, no less. He died when in the Torah portion we read of the death of Jacob and Joseph, the Torah portion called Vayehi, one of Rabbi Phyllis's favorite Torah portions. Translated simply as, "And he lived." I told you then, and I believe it now more than ever, Sam will continue to live in all of our hearts. Ninja leukemia ravaged his body, but it didn't touch his soul. His soul is as pure as it was when he was born. The treasure under your home is the thousands of people who will hold you up and who will tell his story, who will raise money for pediatric cancer, who will shave their heads and hold bake sales, who will love their kids as much as you loved Sam. The treasure under your home is the circle of communities that are all interwoven together by a mutual love of Sam, who will continue to bring goodness in this world. So when we finish the book of Genesis on the Shabbat, when Sam died, we always say 3 Hebrew words: Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen each other. We can be strong as individuals. A husband and wife can be strong together. Children can be strong, grandparents can be strong, we can be chazak. But to fulfill that teaching, we have to be strong for each other. And that's the greatest lesson that I've learned from Sam, is to bring us all together. Lots of different communities, lots of different people, lots and lots of rabbis. All coming together to help one another, to strengthen one another. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another. As we go forward from today, Sam grows inside of all of us. We return his body to the earth, but his soul now soars with all of us to make us strong, and make us stronger even when we're together. Amen.
It shapes the rest of our life. For when we return each year, we find a truth we can't deny. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek.
Please rise. sing but die with all their music in them. Let us treasure the time we have and resolve to use it well, counting each moment precious, a chance to apprehend some truth, to experience some beauty, to conquer some evil, to relieve some suffering, to love and be loved, to achieve something of lasting worth. Help us, God, to fulfill the promise that is in each of us, and so to conduct ourselves to the generations hence. It will be true to say of us, the world is better because for a brief span, we lived in it. For a brief span, Sam lived in this world. We ask for God to watch over him with these words of our tradition. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest under the wings of your presence. Samuel Asher Sommer, who has entered eternity far too soon. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in your eternal presence, under the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace. And let us sing. Please be seated. The Jewish tradition of pallbearers have a sacred role, for they escort the casket from this sanctuary and carry it to the grave. The Sommer family really wanted 1,000 people to carry this casket because everyone is worthy. Direct relatives are exempt. David, Yael, and Sally, the three of you will spiritually carry Sammy with you in your hearts for the rest of your lives. But the pallbearers selected today represent everyone here. Phyllis and Michael asked me to share these words. Family members, Uncle Josh, Uncle Harry, and also Cousin Dan, some of Sam's favorite people. He so looked up to all of you, and you played games with him and watched movies with him. I asked the three of you to come forward. Ellie, a second mama to Sam. From the moment that he was born, he trusts you so deeply. He loved you as does our entire family. You are a friend. You are part of this family. And Tanta to the children, a fixture in the house, a constant source of wisdom and love. You never left their side throughout this ordeal, but it goes back so much further than that. Trisha, friend and caregiver, who's always thinking about how she can help and also of how she can be a friend. You represent through your daughter, Tala, all of Sam's classmates and friends and their families. Sandy Anderson, retired principal of Oak Terrace School. You stand as a pallbearer today to represent the educators and staff who have supported this family and inspired a love of learning. And Sam, Karen, you are one of Sam's favorite visitors and friends. You stoke the fire of his love of reading and silliness while also giving him and loving him through all the tough moments. Kevin Powers, Sam adored you for who you are, strong and mighty, but quick to play and joke around. You are one of Sam's favorite grown-ups and represents all the grown-ups that play a significant role in his life. Auntie Liz, Sam would sit on your lap for hours and play Angry Birds. You are a special member of this family. So while all of you metaphorically carry Sammy out of this sanctuary for us, we know that each one of us will carry him as well. Because those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Dr. Margolis, very sorry. Dr. Margolis, how could I forget? Dr. Margolis, a man who brought compassion and caring and love every single day for these last months, who answered every text from every part of the world promptly, who represents all of the hot unit and the BMT team, who made every effort they could, and will continue to do so.
Family and friends, there will be no formal procession to Shalom Memorial Park. We'll be reconvening in 35 minutes. Shiv will be observed today, as well as on Tuesday, as well as on Wednesday, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Am Shalom.
Huh?
She's probably not going to have time, a chance to eat it. Yeah, she's not going to have an opportunity.
Amanda. Amanda.
What?
Yeah. Your friend? Yeah.
Can you squeeze that in also?
What?
Can you squeeze that in also?
If you can't.
Yeah, probably. We can try. I'm not opposed to it. Come on. Andy's driving too. Are you driving?
Yeah, does anybody need a ride?
I can give you a hand if you're afraid.
I'm afraid of her, but I'm happy to go with her anywhere.
I'm going to
I just need to go grab somebody.
Bye.